This is WION World is One. This is your prime time, and you are watching Gravitas.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Gravitas. I'm Molly Gambhir. Let's get started. Around 60,000 migrants have entered Spain Ceuta from Morocco in the past 24 hours. At least 34 have died attempting the crossing. The situation has been described as absolutely unsustainable. How did things reach this point? Why have people undertaken this journey in the first place, risking their lives? And what happens next? What about the core and fundamental issues at hand? And this also becomes the focal point of Europe's migrant crisis. We decode for you all that you need to know about what's becoming a major tension point. Also on the show for you tonight, Iran launches fierce attacks on US bases in Kuwait, as well as other parts. We tell you more about what's unfolded in the last few days. We also decode for you Trump's deal with Hamas and how Israel remains a huge roadblock. From South India, we get you the latest on the Kaveri water dispute and how this could become a major test for Chief Minister Vijay. We also tell you how the CIA and Mossad are trying to trace the Iranian supreme leader. Is America's water infrastructure under attack, and who is behind this? The Ram Temple donation row has triggered a lot of drama and debate in the Indian Parliament. All of this and a lot more coming up. Around 60,000 migrants have entered Spain Ceuta from Morocco in just 24 hours. Several have died while attempting the crossing. In fact, the mass crossing triggered shock and division in Europe, triggering serious questions. The situation has been described as absolutely unsustainable by the president of Ceuta, with serious questions and concern mounting and the ripple effect spreading. First, take a look at these visuals. In the past 24 hours, these tiny territory security forces have been overwhelmed by a sudden influx of all of these people who have undertaken this journey, swimming, climbing, storming across the border from Morocco. This is what the situation has looked like on the ground. These are just some of those desperate images coming in. Some of those who died had drowned, but some were also killed in a stampede to cross a breakwater fence. That's the level of desperation that some of these people have been going through just to make their way, risking their lives. In fact, the waters near the border fence, littered with boys, shoes, other belongings left behind. The border crisis boiled over, with security forces clashing with the migrants on the Moroccan side of the border. Footage of the border early showed hundreds of migrants gathered on a hill overlooking Ceuta being dispersed with tear gas by the Moroccan forces, while others continued to swim to the Spanish territory. The Moroccan forces beat back crowds reportedly at the gates to Ceuta, trying to prevent more from storming across into this tiny Spanish territory. Now, just to help you understand this better first, geographically speaking, this is the area that we are talking about. The location. That's Ceuta. That's the part that we are talking about. This is on Morocco's northern coast, as you can see. This, in fact, is separated from mainland Spain by the Strait of Gibraltar and has long been a focal point for migrants attempting to reach Europe. Ceuta and Melilla trace their Spanish past to the 15th century, and they have enjoyed a limited degree of self-government as well since the 1990s. Coveted by Morocco, they have long been a flashpoint in the diplomatic ties as well between the two sides, and they in fact form the European Union's only land borders with Africa. Migrants from Morocco also attempted to cross into Melilla. That's where that's situated. That's Spain's other territory at the tip of North Africa. Like Ceuta, Melilla is a Spanish autonomous city on the North African coast. Many Moroccans consider both cities to be occupied territory. Let's just give you some more context here about who really are these people and why did they undertake this journey. Many of those crossing the border from Morocco have been young, mainly men, although there are also women and children in the crowds and even babies. Let's just break down for you the numbers first. What's the population of this place that we are talking about? The recent arrivals reportedly amounted to around 70% of the city's population. The population sits at around 83,000, over 83,000, according to the latest local figures. So we are looking at about 70% of these people, around 60,000 migrants basically, that entered Spain Ceuta from Morocco in 24 hours. So that's about 70% of the city's regular population. It's a staggering number. Next, how exactly did things even reach this point? Let's just explain this to you. The authorities in Ceuta and Madrid have linked this border search to a recent decision by Spain's Supreme Court that ruled migrants arriving by sea could not be summarily deported, unlike those who crossed by land or climbed the border fence. Pedro Sanchez said migrant smugglers misinterpreted the ruling. According to him, it appears that this interpretation of the Supreme Court's ruling spread like wildfire over the past few hours through the networks of human trafficking organizations, he claimed, triggering this kind of mass surge. In fact, he also blamed human smugglers for the crisis, saying, quote, they deceive so many young people and ultimately lead many of them to their deaths, whether in the ocean or, as in this case, at Spain's border in the autonomous city of Ceuta. But some activists disagree. Some activists in Morocco, in fact, expressed doubt that the ruling was behind the surge. They argue most migrants would have been unaware of such legal decisions. Let's tell you more about what's unfolded in just the last 24 hours on the ground. Pedro Sanchez even visited Ceuta. He condemned the border breach, describing it as a violation of Spain's territorial integrity. Let's play out the statement for you.
En segundo lugar, definir lo que ha sucedido en el día de ayer como un ataque.
We define what happened yesterday as an attack, a violation of Spain's territorial integrity. Ceuta is a Spanish city, and what happened yesterday deserves our strongest possible rebuke and condemnation. We reject, condemn, and regard as deplorable the violation and attack on the territorial integrity of a Spanish city, namely the city of Ceuta.
Y el ataque a la integridad territorial de una ciudad española como es la ciudad de Ceuta. No quiero olvidarme, por
And over the last few hours, we've seen a string of strong reactions coming in. European leaders have called for Spain's temporary suspension from the bloc's free travel zone because of fears of a fresh migration crisis leading to a diplomatic row as well between Rome and Madrid. The Italian Prime Minister, in fact, warned of a threat to European security as she led the charge for Spain to be removed from the 29-member zone, which basically stretches from Portugal to Poland. Not just that, Meloni threatened to suspend Italy's open border agreement with Spain to defend the borders and ensure the safety of the citizens. Now, even though Italy does not share a border with Spain and is also an entry point for tens of thousands of migrants crossing the Mediterranean each year, The French Interior Minister also said France would strengthen border checks with Spain. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said the images coming from Ceuta are unacceptable, saying dangerous crossings must stop immediately, smuggling networks must be dismantled, returns must be swift as the rules allow. Now, Spain earlier also said that it had reversed a huge rush of those migrants into a Spanish enclave there, with thousands of people who had crossed the border by land and sea already heading back voluntarily, it said. But the situation continues to remain chaotic and tense, to say the least. And here's the larger picture here. Spain is facing mounting calls to be kicked out of EU's free movement zone. Like we said, the mass storm of the border caused division in Europe, where leaders of fellow EU states basically called for Spain to ensure that the incident was contained. Right-wing parties around the continent blamed the incident on Spain's comparatively lax migration policies, according to them, including the amnesty granted to hundreds of thousands of unauthorized migrants this year. Pedro Sanchez has, remember, bucked the anti-migration trend that has gained ground across Europe, also in the United States, for example. Earlier this year itself, his government moved to give residency and work permits to hundreds of thousands of migrants already living in the country without permission. Sanchez argued that it would be good for the economy and the demographics of an aging Spain. Migrants who entered irregularly after Jan 1 this year were also not included. But his critics have also jumped the opportunity to attack his policies, saying it encouraged more migrants to come. So the criticism has been quite heavy for him. And Sanchez has defended his migration policy and distanced it from the events unfolding in Ceuta. But there are a number of questions here. Also, what happens next? We've already seen a lot of these developments in just the last few hours. How will this migrant crisis really be resolved? And this, after all, is about the haves and have-nots. And these people have been risking their lives and undertaking this journey. This is also about those people's desperation, as visible in those images we just showed you. These fundamental issues and core questions continue to hang in the air as the ripple effects of this crisis continue to spread. On to a Gravitas special report. Ukraine has launched another deep drone strike, this time targeting Ozon after repeatedly hitting wild berries. On the other hand, as missiles continue to rain on Ukraine, civilians also facing the danger not only from the skies but also from a severe shortage of air defense systems and proper shelters. And with Trump casting doubt on expanding the Patriot missile production, Kiev faces a pressing question here. How can it protect its cities? Take a look.
The warning sirens sound. People run for cover. But where do you hide when there is nowhere safe to go? This is becoming a frightening reality for many Ukrainians. On Thursday, Russia launched another heavy wave of missiles and drone attacks across Ukraine. Explosions rocked cities. Air defense systems raced to intercept incoming threats. And once again, civilians were forced to take shelter wherever they could. But Ukraine's problem is growing. In many areas, there are not enough proper shelters.
You can't treat people like that, and every day we look at this dilapidated building and realize that neither the clinic nor the school is a shelter, it's just a basement.
I think the government didn't take the 5-year war seriously, and these shelters shouldn't be in basements like that, because those basements won't save anyone. They'll just be crushed under the rubble with all those people inside.
Ukraine is facing a critical shortage of air defense missiles. Moscow knows it, and it is using heavy weapons to inflict pain on Kyiv. Ukraine's strategic ambition was to manufacture its own US Patriot interceptors. To plug this critical air defense vacuum, President Volodymyr Zelensky pressed Washington for license to co-produce Patriot interceptors locally. However, now President Donald Trump has poured cold water on those hopes, stating he's not sure about granting such sensitive technology transfers. Right now the war is only intensifying. Russia's second largest e-commerce company, Ozon workers rushed for safety as in Ukrainian drones struck hard. This comes in the back of Ukraine's attack on a dozen wild berries site in Russia since July 18 in a bid to disrupt the operations of the company. A linchpin of the consumer economy that is often described as Russia's answer to Amazon. Now Moscow is also replying in the same coin. This is the moment a Russian attack struck a food business in the Ukrainian city of Pavlohar, killing 3 and injured at least 10 people. Ukraine has escalated its retaliatory strikes on Russia in recent months, partly to pressure Moscow to the negotiating table after nearly 4.5 years of war. Last month was the deadliest for civilians in Ukraine since April 2022, as Moscow ramped up its long-range strikes on towns and cities across Ukraine. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Shifting focus to the tensions in West Asia, they continue to remain high while the US refrained from conducting fresh attacks on Iran on Thursday. Iran launched a fierce retaliatory strike on a key American base in Kuwait. Amid this, Trump chairing a cabinet meeting at Camp David. On Iran's radar was the airbase in Kuwait. In fact, the IRGC claimed to have launched drone strikes targeting fighter aircraft shelters, satellite communication systems, equipment storage facilities at the site. And while CENTCOM is yet to react to the claim, Kuwait's defense ministry stated that it destroyed Iranian drones targeting vital facilities. It attributed the damage to falling shrapnel while asserting that no casualties were recorded. According to the IRGC, this attack came in response to America's strikes on a residential home in Kashm Island, located in the strategic Strait of Hormuz. On its part, CENTCOM claimed to have hit dozens of IRGC targets in Iran, including military command centers, missiles, drone facilities. Iran has also announced that it had struck 2 tankers attempting to pass through the Strait of Hormuz under the air escort of the US military. While it also claimed that these tankers were brought to a halt, 4 other tankers reportedly turned around and returned to their previous positions. Amid the ongoing deadlock over the negotiations with Iran, an NBC News report hinted that US President Donald Trump is getting frustrated with the disagreements reportedly among his top military advisors. According to the report, Trump's frustration stemming from a lack of a clear strategy on how to actually handle the war. While the report claimed that Trump erupted in anger during a recent national security meeting and even shouted expletives at his advisors, the White House press secretary meanwhile denied this. Now, with Yemen's Iran-backed Houthis joining the hostilities, Saudi Arabia and 13 other countries have come together to form a maritime defense alliance to secure navigation around the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which caters to nearly 7%, catering to nearly 7% of global crude oil trade. After announcing a maritime embargo of Saudi Arabia last week, it struck vessels of the country reportedly trying to transit the Red Sea. The alliance, comprising countries like Pakistan, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, resolved to protect shared maritime interests in Bab el-Mandeb, Red Sea, and the Gulf of Aden. That's not all. According to reports, Saudi Arabia is also preparing for a major military offensive against the Houthis by sea and by land in central Yemen. These are crucial developments. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia and America's joint strikes against Iran-backed paramilitary groups on Iraq's soil early this week, continuing to provoke outrage and reactions. While Trump claimed that the strikes were coordinated with the Iraqi government, Baghdad reportedly refuted having any prior knowledge of the attack. At least 20 members of Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces, remember, were killed. 32 others were injured in those strikes. But the attacks in Iran continued. Earlier in the day, 2 drones hit a building in northern Iraq, allegedly associated with an Iranian Kurdistan organization. Fire and heavy plumes of smoke engulfed the building. In another development, IRGC released photographs of Jordan's airbase showing the extent of damage to American assets. A day earlier, it also claimed to have destroyed 3 American F-35 jets, damaged 3 others, and killed several U.S. military personnel, allegedly, in a missile attack on this base, it claimed. However, CENTCOM flatly denied the claim. And as the war and the hostilities continue, the tensions continuing, Indians also paying a heavy price. A day earlier, the Indian government revealed that 16 Indian nationals, including 10 seafarers, have lost their lives in West Asia since the war started in February. Additionally, 75 Indians have been injured as well. After Iran's retaliatory strikes, will there be a lull in attacks for another night is the question, or will the tit-for-tat strikes resume? As the crisis extends to multiple fronts, West Asia continuing to remain on edge. US President Donald Trump has announced a historic agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas, calling it a critical step towards establishing a new governing authority in Gaza. Hamas and the Board of Peace later confirmed the announcement, and reports indicated that mediators and Hamas leaders have reached that proposed framework in Cairo. According to sources reportedly close to the talks, the proposal outlining provisions for dismantling the group's weapons and a gradual withdrawal of the Israeli forces from Gaza. But Israeli media reports say that Israel is not fully on board yet, insisting that there will be no Israeli withdrawal from the Yellow Line before Gaza Strip is fully demilitarized. Now, diplomatic sources reportedly had earlier indicated that while significant progress was made during the talks in Cairo, it remains uncertain whether the agreement will hold, as Israeli officials have expressed strong dissatisfaction with several key terms. A senior member of the Hamas negotiating team said the group expects international mediators and the Board of Peace to guarantee Israel's full compliance with the proposed terms. Under this framework, the Palestinian Technocratic Committee, established by the Board of Peace to govern Gaza, would oversee the storage and decommissioning of Hamas's weapons. Announcing the development on Truth Social, President Trump said that disarmament would take place across carefully structured phases. And he added that following the disarmament process, Israeli forces would withdraw, clearing the way for an international stabilization force to work alongside a new Palestinian police force to ensure Gaza's security. He also thanked mediators from Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey. Hamas, responding to the agreement, also said that any handover of its heavy weapons would be conditional on Israel ending its military offensive and withdrawing its forces from Gaza. The group maintained that the first step towards implementing any agreement must be Israel's commitment to halt its military operations, stop the killing, and ensure a complete cessation of hostilities. And the issue of Hamas's disarmament has remained the primary sticking point, remember, in advancing the broader ceasefire deal that has been in place between Israel and Hamas in Gaza since October. And despite that ceasefire, violence continued to flare in the enclave, with recent Israeli strikes killing at least 6 people, including 2 children, on Thursday itself. Let's now shift focus to India. Nearing completion of 3 months as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, actor-turned-politician Vijay is facing a major test over the Kaveri River water dispute. Let's break it down. First, let's tell you more about the dispute itself. While this river originates in Karnataka, it passes through Tamil Nadu and Puducherry before draining into the Bay of Bengal. Now, there has been a long-standing dispute over the sharing of the Kaveri River water. In the year 1990 itself, the Kaveri Water Disputes Tribunal was formed by the centre to adjudicate the dispute between Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala and Puducherry. In fact, while the tribunal announced its award in 2007, the Supreme Court of India tweaked the water sharing for the states in its judgment 11 years later. While the total available water is 740,000 million cubic feet, Karnataka is entitled to get over 284,000 million cubic feet. On the other hand, 404,000 million cubic feet was allocated to Tamil Nadu. The latest flashpoint, though, has been Karnataka's refusal to release Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu, citing water distress on account of deficient southwest monsoon rainfall. And this came even as the Kaveri Water Regulation Committee directed Karnataka to release 3,500 cusecs of Kaveri water per day to Tamil Nadu for 15 days. Now, former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has also stepped up the ante and cornered Vijay over his handling of the Kaveri River dispute issue. A day earlier, he announced that DMK will stage a demonstration on the 3rd of August in protest against various issues, including Kaveri. The leader of opposition and his son will lead the demonstration, accusing the TVK chief of not doing enough to secure Tamil Nadu's rights. Stalin also mounted pressure on him to move the Supreme Court if Karnataka continues to avoid releasing the Kaveri River water. Meanwhile, anger over the issue is only mounting by the day in Karnataka following directives to release Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu. For instance, farmer protests, road blockades were witnessed in some parts. The outrage has also impacted Vijay's latest film. The screening of the movie, remember, has been halted across Karnataka. Earlier, activists disrupted theatres and forced Bengaluru's theatre, one of them as well, to cancel shows and remove promotional posters of the film. In wake of the rising tensions, meanwhile, Shivakumar postponed his meeting with Vijay.
Now, I've been requesting the Honourable Chief Minister, we will meet at a cordial time. Let this court issues be over. We know that we respect the law of this country.
So basically, the bottom line is the pressure on the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister is only growing, with the ally VCK also demanding the government must immediately convene an all-party meeting over the Kaveri water dispute issue. The party strongly condemned the Karnataka government's alleged anti-Tamil stance. But what really is Tamil Nadu's course of action likely going to be? Speaking to the media, the Tamil Nadu law minister affirmed that Vijay is consulting legal experts, senior officials, other stakeholders over the matter. He reportedly stated that the government is contemplating approaching the Supreme Court, holding direct talks with Karnataka, as well as seeking a new water disputes tribunal. Let's now tell you about one of the world's most advanced spy agencies, the CIA and the Mossad, chasing a man they cannot find. Despite cutting-edge surveillance, the search for Iran's supreme leader reportedly turned into a quest where technology seems to be falling short and human intelligence is taking center stage. According to reports, Mossad and the CIA are trying to determine two main facts. Is the supreme leader alive? And if so, where is he hiding? Reports claim the leader has avoided using phones, laptops, other electronic devices for nearly 5 months, denying intelligence agencies the digital trail that they normally rely on. According to reports, messages are being passed through multiple couriers to the leader, with each person allegedly carrying only a small part of the communication chain. Intelligence experts reportedly say this method makes it extremely difficult to trace the final destination or identify the people involved. And the shift is quite significant here because cyber operations reportedly played a major role in tracking Iran's previous supreme leader, Mustafa's father, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who died in the US-Israeli strikes on the 28th of February, in which Mustafa Khamenei is believed to be gravely injured, reportedly. And to track Khamenei, Israel and the US reportedly hacked traffic cameras in Tehran to spot the vehicles used by the former supreme leader's bodyguards and associates. This time, however, electronic surveillance has produced few answers, reportedly. Instead of cyber surveillance, investigators reportedly now believe the breakthrough may come from people on the ground, allegedly forcing the agencies to now depend on human sources and informants within Iran. So this mystery regarding Mustafa Khamenei's whereabouts has only deepened, with recent public appearances linked to the regime, funeral visuals of Khamenei also, and the presence of Khamenei's family members fueled speculation, while the Iranian president Masoud Pezeshkian claimed he personally met the injured supreme leader and said he was recovering well. At the same time, some experts have raised the possibility of body doubles as well, while others continue to question whether Mustafa is alive at all. Investigators reportedly are focusing on possible underground shelters, including locations in Tehran and near the holy city of Qom. In fact, according to experts, Israel allegedly faced the exact same problem while trying to find Israeli hostages held by Hamas in Gaza, as there was allegedly also much reliance on electronic technology and not enough on real people. Human intelligence analysts say, is the only realistic path to finding Mustafa Khamenei. Maybe recruiting someone with direct access to his inner circle, an extraordinarily difficult task, of course, because of the tight security and the strict screening. So for now, one of the world's biggest intelligence hunts remains unresolved, with cyber espionage taking a back seat, it seems, and human intelligence reportedly emerging as a decisive factor. Time now to take a quick look at the global headlines at this hour, taking you around the world in 120 seconds.
An Algerian passenger bus crashed into a ravine, killing at least 25 people and wounding dozens. At least 44 people were injured in the crash, and the civil defense warned that the death toll could rise further. Iranian pilgrims walked towards Karbala to participate in the Arba'in pilgrimage after crossing through the Iraq-Iran border at Zurbatia in Iraq. Greek civil protection ordered the partial evacuation of part of Haidari, a suburb west of Athens, after a forest fire broke out on a nearby mountain. Firefighters said the blaze was burning on a mountain near the suburb. An English court threw out a challenge against planning permission for a Chinese mega embassy in central London, but residents seeking to block the contentious project vowed to fight on. U.S. Special Envoy to South and Central Asia Sergio Gore visited Rohingya refugee camps in southeastern Bangladesh as part of a 3-day trip to the country. As Gore's convoy passed through the camps, Rohingya refugees stood silently holding small placards, carrying messages asking for support. More than 60 Hong Kong teenagers visited the Beijing World of Robots, where they watched interactive robot demonstrations up close and marveled at the novel functions and impressive performances on display. Pope Leo met U.S. singer-songwriter Patti Smith at the Vatican's Apostolic Palace, where they sat down for an audience. Both the first U.S. pontiff and the godmother of punk were born in Chicago, Illinois.
Water systems across the U.S. Midwestern state of Minnesota have now reportedly been impacted by what authorities are determining as malicious cyber activity. Federal investigators have launched a probe into the matter, in fact. And according to Minnesota IT Services Department, more than 30 community water systems across the state have been paralyzed, prompting a switch to manual operations. 4 cities, in fact, publicly disclosed the attacks. And as the probe widens, investigators also believe reportedly the cyber attacks show signs of involvement by Iranian government hackers, allegedly. But it is to be noted here that these findings are preliminary. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is now actively involved and confirmed it was engaged with the victims of the alleged cyber attacks. Investigators alerted that their assessment could change as more technical evidences emerge. They are also examining whether the perpetrators sought to appear Iran-based to exploit the tensions because of the ongoing situation. So far, neither Minnesota officials nor the federal government have publicly linked the cyber activity to any specific actor. The FBI, the Environmental Protection Agency, Cybersecurity Agency are warning that only internet-connected water and wastewater systems were targeted. Some attacks disrupted operations and even triggered flooding in some counties. Now, this is also not the first time that Iran has come under the scanner, allegedly. The pro-Iranian Handala hack group claimed responsibility for a disruptive attack on U.S. medical equipment supplier in March 2026, which impacted global corporate networks. Earlier, Washington had said that advanced persistent threat groups, most notably those affiliated with the IRGC, intensified cyber operations targeting the U.S. on critical infrastructure sectors, particularly waste and wastewater systems, water and wastewater systems, energy, transportation as well. And before we go on any further, a quick look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. Do not go anywhere. Here's what's coming up. A Gravitas special report. Is Germany drawing a secret plan to stop states from obstructing NATO deployment? What is this all about? Could China's own models challenge communist rule? We tell you why this question is being asked. We tell you all that you need to know about a miracle escape for a man who walked 10 miles with a steel pole piercing through his body. You don't want to miss this. It's a miraculous story of survival. The fear of a Russian invasion continues to loom large on Germany's mind. As all transport routes to NATO's eastern and southeastern flanks passes through German territory, it has a vital role in a potential conflict. But the immediate threat is not from Putin, but from within, it seems. The concern emanating from the growing rise of Alternative for Germany, AfD, which was classified as a far-right extremist group by Germany's domestic intelligence agency last year. Now, it's come under the lens for allegedly opposing EU sanctions on Russia and called for restoring imports of Russian oil and gas to bolster the country's economy. While it's not in power in any of Germany's 16 states as of now, this could change soon, and here's the context. Saddled with record low approval ratings, the German Chancellor is reportedly concerned that the AfD can potentially form its government in 2 states for the first time ever. These states will go to the polls in September this year. Elections scheduled in September this year, but why is a prospective AfD victory also being looked at as a national security issue? Let's break this down. For that, take a look at this map. Due to its geostrategic location in the center of Europe, Germany basically is the main transit point for troops, tanks, missiles from NATO allies towards the border with Russia. And if we look at the states in question, they are located on the eastern side of the country, where troops are likely to pass through. According to reports, the Chancellor fears that AfD could obstruct NATO movement if it gains control of these states. But then what can AfD potentially do as well? States in Germany have multiple powers, including control over internal security and policing. So if a conflict with Russia does break out, the concern is that an AfD government could reportedly slow down troop and equipment movements via bureaucratic red tapeism, perhaps, or delay deployment of police forces, and refuse to give military priority on the roads, maybe. For instance, heavy military transport requires permit from the state authorities. Now, this has spurred the Chancellor to reportedly draw up secret plans to prevent such a scenario. What does it involve? Basically, mechanisms to override the state government's decision-making powers in the event of a crisis, as well as protecting key officials and infrastructure in the neighboring states. So while Germany has laws to streamline military logistics in a national security crisis, the parliament first needs to declare a state of tension, for which a 2/3 majority is required. That's the process. Now, the coalition led by Merz's party lacks the numbers at present. Earlier this month, Germany's government also hinted at taking another adverse measure to bypass the AfD in a way. Speaking to the media, the German defense minister stated that he is in favor of excluding potential AfD ministers in state administrations from being included in crucial intelligence briefings. And he defended that stance by citing the party's alleged close ties with Putin. With growing internal divisions within Germany, all eyes will be on AfD's performance in the upcoming state elections. It's going to be very crucial. They could potentially shape the approach towards Russia. Shifting focus to India, a political protest inside the parliament complex took place. It also took an unusual and theatrical turn today as the opposition MP staged a satirical performance over allegations of irregularities in donations made to the Ram temple in Ayodhya. Let's lay it out for you. Independent MP Pappu Yadav appeared dressed as a Hindu ascetic, while a Samajwadi Party MP acted as a devotee, accusing him of stealing temple donations. Now, during that performance, the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, walked in He placed cash into a donation box, after which Pappu Yadav could be seen picking up the box and running away as part of the act. So that's what played out. And several opposition leaders, including Priyanka Gandhi, Dimple Yadav, were also present. The demonstration basically was aimed at highlighting allegations that cash, gold, other offerings made to the Ram temple were misappropriated allegedly by the temple staff. The controversy has also raised questions over the functioning of the temple trust. The protest was held at the parliament premises before the House met. Inside the Lok Sabha, the Speaker objected to the attire worn during the protest and said such actions lowered the dignity and the prestige of the Parliament. He also warned the members against repeating such conduct.
सदन के अंदर तख्तियां लेकर आकर बैनर लेकर आना ये संसद की परंपराओं और मर्यादाओं के अनुरूप नहीं है.
And the BJP leaders also strongly criticized the demonstration, saying it disrespected the dignity of the parliament and deserved condemnation.
पूरा विपक्ष साथ दे रहा था. यद्यपि माननीय लोकसभा अध्यक्ष कड़े शब्दों में आलोचना कर रहे थे और ये कह रहे थे कि मुझे कार्रवाई करने के लिए मजबूर मत करो, संसद की गरिमा को बनाए रखो. लेकिन जिनका गरिमा से कोई सरोकार ही नहीं है, तो इसकी जितनी निंदा हो सकती है उतनी निंदा करनी चाहिए.
And the Samajwadi Party, on the other hand, accused the government of protecting those responsible allegedly.
ये चंदा चोरी और चढ़ावा चोरी ये मजाक नहीं है, बल्कि देश के करोड़ों करोड़ों लोगों की भावनाओं पर ठोस पहुंचाएगा.
Let's now tell you about a miraculous story of survival. In a stunning feat, a Montana man walked 16 kilometers with a pole piercing through his body. Imagine that. His courage has stunned doctors and rescuers. This 32-year-old male nurse was climbing this mountain with two friends when he was impaled by his own trekking pole high on the state's tallest mountain. And what further shocked the rescuers was that he refused the helicopter evacuation, hiking 10 miles back to safety with that steel shaft still sticking out of his body. Now, this peak is often known to be the freeze-to-death plateau, and it was during his ascent when he slipped and his 44-inch steel-tipped trekking pole drove beneath his left arm, pierced out through his back. Remarkably, the pole missed his lungs and other vital organs. And despite that injury, this man trekked down nearly 5,000 feet and took himself safely to a nearby clinic where the doctors removed that pole. He's now out of danger, thankfully, and has resumed daily work.
You know, search and rescue coming to help you is free. The flight's not. And so that was obviously a factor in me deciding to self-rescue. But the fact that I had two experienced great friends with me, and we had the ability to contact search and rescue if something went wrong, made that a lot more of an easy decision.
Shifting focus, floods in Gujarat have ravaged the state, putting life at a standstill. Amid this, visuals have been surfacing of crocodiles entering homes, causing panic among the citizens. A crocodile, in fact, entered the bathroom of a house in a village. The crocodile was later rescued by the Forest Department with the help of an NGO and released into a safe location. Weather Department issued a red alert for very heavy rainfall in 13 districts. Heavy to extremely heavy rainfall is likely in parts of the state till Saturday. Severe waterlogging has disrupted the vehicular traffic in many areas, particularly in Surat and Anand districts. In parts of Surat, nearly 8 inches of rain has been recorded. Anand has received over 6 inches of rainfall. till 12 p.m. In fact, the evacuation operations have been underway in the 13 districts affected by the rain. A total of 17 National Disaster Response Force teams, 33 State Disaster Response Force platoons, 6 Army columns have been deployed on the ground. So far, over 720 people have been evacuated from the low-lying areas in Vadodara, Surat and other parts. As river levels rise, 21 dams in the state have been placed on high alert. Time now to get you one of the most powerful images of the day, and for this we are taking you to China, where a spectacular drone show illuminated the night sky over the spectacular UNESCO World Heritage Site. Around 1,500 drones took over and took off, in fact, from the they took off to form silhouettes of the iconic 3,000 vertical peaks as well as other landmarks. And we now focus on a big question hanging in the air. The deadlock over negotiations between the US and Iran continues as US President Donald Trump is chairing a cabinet meeting at Camp David right now. A key question arises: will the US adopt a more cohesive strategy to deal with Iran as the conflict is expanding to more fronts as well? And with that, it's a wrap on this edition for now. We are taking a very short break. Thanks very much for watching. This is me, Molly Kampir, signing off.
On Inside South Asia this week, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is on the boil yet again. Several protesters boycotting the polls killed. What is Asim Munir's endgame in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir? From India to Pakistan and Afghanistan, floods wreak havoc across South Asian nations. And we bring you the plight of the Rohingyas in search of a better future. All this and much more with me, Kripa, on Inside South Asia.
What will the next war look like? What is the future of warfare? From AI-powered defense to machines that think in the blink of an eye. What if your clothes could dress you? A soft robot is making everyday life easier. Can a camera save a life? AI is spotting danger posed by people to themselves. Catch these stories on Tech It Out this week at these times.
On Inside South Asia this week, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is on the boil yet again. Several protesters boycotting the polls killed. What is Asim Munir's endgame in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir? From India to Pakistan and Afghanistan, floods wreak havoc across South Asian nations. And we bring you the plight of the Rohingyas in search of a better future. All this and much more with me, Kripa, on Inside South Asia.
What will the next war look like? What is the future of warfare? From AI-powered defense to machines that think in the blink of an eye. What if your clothes could dress you? A soft robot is making everyday life easier. Can a camera save a life? AI is spotting danger posed by people to themselves. Catch these stories on Tech It Out this week at these times.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. More than 200,000 civilian homes have been destroyed. This looks like it used to be a toy for a little girl. Can't but wonder while I'm walking between all of this rubble, how many lives were destroyed, how many kids were traumatized, how many women lost their families. If this isn't a war crime, then what is? From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Radi Francis for WION World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch. WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays, 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
Campaigns, elections, alliances, controversies, and power play. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power, only on WION.